guess I'll do it this way. What the fuck? What the fuck? All right. Let's wait for people to pop in here. Did I unplug? Hold on. Yep. Oh well, I don't need it plugged in right now. Hold on. Hold on. Do the good old wipe down. Boy, Samsung likes to punch colors up, don't they? I don't even know what I want to talk about for this. Got cat hair all on my screen. I'm just gonna wait for people to pop in. I ain't got really nothing really I want to talk about in particular in terms of topics or anything. So I guess this can just be a Q&A. I guess, actually, damn. Now I can't even rename the stream. I could just rename it after the fact. But I guess what I do want to talk about is, I guess, yet another Apple topic, because the M1 iPad Pros just came out, right? And now when you get the 12-inch, the 12.9-inch, I think it is, you get the mini LED display, and if you get the regular 11-inch, you get a regular LCD display. And what's really interesting is the issues that it's having, right? There's now, obviously, if you've used phones with LCD displays in the past, you know that they tend to be prone to ghosting, right? And personally, for me, I don't necessarily see that as that huge of an issue, mainly because, well, it's it doesn't happen. Like, say for example, LG G7, the last mainstream phone that I had, that was a flagship, that had a very high quality LCD panel, right? um I don't remember seeing that much ghosting on there. It was very minimal. It wasn't like, say, going from V20 to V30, LCD to OLED, seeing the difference between the issues that you would get on the V20's LCD panel and the V30's OLED panel, right? Where you would get that color shifting, where you would get things that would actually kind of make the display not seem as high quality as, say, the phone screen before it, right? It kind of became this thing where, oh, people just want OLED for the deeper colors and stuff like that. And I get that, the deeper blacks, but anyway, I'm not gonna get into that. The LCD displays tend to ghost, and I did see that a lot on the iPad Pro with its 120 hertz panel. Is that you'd get a lot of ghosting on the main display, on the home screen, which is why I tended to just have a basic nothing on the home screen except for my widgets, and I would have everything in the dock in either folders or whatever else. Um, and with this new mini LED display that Apple is touting, the mini LED, XDR display and all this stuff, right? Very fancy marketing. People are seeing very weird issues. What's up, man? How's it going? People are seeing very weird issues when it comes to this display where yes, blacks are indeed far more blacker than what you would see on a basic LCD panel, but ghosting tends to be up at an all-time high, right? And unfortunately, I don't really have an LCD display here to show you guys this with, but the iPad Pro 2020 is something that I can indeed tell you guys had a good amount of ghosting. It wasn't horrendous. It didn't bother me all that much. It only tended to bother me when I just got the thing, and it was cold outside, and you could see it even worse with LCD displays, with ghosting, with with temperatures that are low. And what some people are having with this new iPad Pro 12.9 with the mini LED display is that, oh, blacks are black, but depending on your unit, ghosting may be super intense. Whites may come out super, like it may blow out. Like let me get this real quick. Let me show you guys exactly what I'm talking about. So I watch Alt Dad Tech as well. He's done a pretty good job at showing showing people the issues with this kind of thing. God, now let me go to my library so I can just go to the history. Because it was one of his stories or whatever, or community posts. So you see this, right? Look at that. That's the 2021 M1 12.9 iPad 12.9 inch iPad Pro. I know that's a lot of numbers, but whatever. Look at that. Look how crazy that looks. Where, as you guys can see, where there's nothing going on, it's black. But where there's text, you see this kind of issue go on right here where it's grayed. It has like a gray gradient behind it, right? And it's not aesthetic. It's clearly like an issue with the display. I don't know if it's calibration. I don't know if it's just this first batch of hardware is just having this issue. There were issues with like the iPhone 12 Pro and 12 Pro Max where it wouldn't truly go down to a true 0% brightness or whatever. There were issues with that, I guess. I saw it on one of my 12 Pro Maxes when I had it, but it was it didn't bother me because you only were really able to see it when you turned off the phone and turned it back on, and it would like do a little bit of flash of white. There'd be like a gray gradient around the Apple logo, right? And it kind of looked like an LCD panel, and people kind of like, what the hell? And I'm like, I don't care. But it's weird, man. And you see people in the comment section of like these community posts or these videos or whatever constantly saying, well, I don't care. Overall, it still looks better than what an OLED could do and all this stuff. And I'm like, if it's having those kind of issues, that's a bad display, dude. The tech may not be there for that particular kind of, you know, the tech just may not be there quite yet. We may need another year or two. And I appreciate Apple doing what they can to make sure that these things do come to fruition when it comes to tablets or even phones. But yeah, the brightness on the 12 Pro Max well, iPhones in general, is not just the 12 Pro Max. No matter what, you have to go into the auto, yeah, you gotta go into the brightness settings and turn auto brightness off. Otherwise, and this is why I always tend to do that, ever when you shift ever so slightly away from a different amount of brightness, it'll brighten way too much or go way too dark. Like it would do that when I was on the bus going home from work and stuff like that, where when when the bus is stopping and it's opening its doors, the lights on the right side of the bus turn on. So that will make the phone display get brighter. I think it was also doing that on the iPads too. It was very weird, but yeah, that's not necessarily a display issue. That's just how Apple designs their auto brightness. That's auto brightness just doing its thing, which is why I just tend to turn it off anyway. um, but yeah, it does kind of suck that these things are happening with this. I was planning on getting that 12.9 inch. I'm like, well, if it's gonna have these kind of issues, I'm not gonna pull my punches if I see those issues and they're worse than what everybody else is going through. I'm not pulling my punches because I'm tired of this. Oh, it's fine because Apple is doing it, and this is the first gen. No, you got they didn't hold LG, they didn't hold hell. They didn't hold anything back for LG when they decided to go to OLED with the V30. They decided to put all of these after 8 generations of Samsung deciding to use OLED. LG has had like what, three before the V30? They had like what, two phones that used OLED displays, the G Flex and the G Flex 2, and those were very old. So them coming back to OLED and doing it in a different type of way made sense that they would have some issues. Yeah, Apple is very weird with their settings. Like you can't even turn like you can't even turn off Wi-Fi completely for a day. Like say you just don't want to use Wi-Fi, toggling Wi-Fi off will just decide it'll just decide to be like, oh, we'll go on in the next 20, we'll go back on in the next 24 hours. That's pretty much a holdover back from when the iPhone was just on AT&T, and there were no iPhones with like the Tab S7 Plus, dude. That that's really enticing me. Like I don't want to give Samsung money. Well, I could just do what I did with this phone and get it off Swapper, which I should check. Do I even have Swapper on here? Yeah, I do. Samsung Galaxy Tab S7 Plus. But I've been seeing a bunch of, not the S6 Plus, S7. Only 600? That's not bad. It's not bad at all. But yeah, the fact that you can just use the tablet and go into like a desktop mode on the tablet itself through Dex and have it just look like a laptop and be a laptop is pretty fucking cool. And the fact that it comes with the S Pen bundled with the tablet is also really nice. I wish they did that with the S21 Ultra rather than being like if you're gonna take all that crap out of the box but just put the phone in the box with the cord, you should have at least put the S Pen in the box if the phone supports S Pens, you know. Even if it's like the $40 one, it wouldn't matter because it's still an S Pen. People could just go back and get the S Pen Pro if they want to when that comes out, right? It Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. A lot of people are probably looking for that damn tablet. I'm really trying to find. Here's the thing. I like the iPad Pro. I really do. I really like it. The only reason I don't have it anymore is because I needed money, so I just sold it. But I didn't really have any issues with it at all. Like the apps I used on it, like say LumaFusion and what I used it for, it was more than capable of doing what I needed it to do. It's just I'm not sure about cellular for tablets. I was never really sold on that. Like it reminds me with the Vita when they had the cellular Vita, the 3G Vita. And I was like, I don't know if I want that. And they stopped that quickly. So I never really was sold on a portable thing that isn't a phone having cellular. I just really wasn't. If that's on you if you want it, but for me personally, it just wasn't really something that grabbed me. I really wanted to get the stylus for the Shield tablet K1, but every time I looked at it, it was like 40, $50. So I was like, nah. I might end up getting a new Shield tablet. I think that using the one that I had was kind of a bad thing to do be from like the most recent video on the Shield tablet because it's bent, which means obviously the motherboard is most likely bent. So that's definitely impacting performance in some way. So you can still find a Shield tablet K1 on Amazon refurbished for like $200. So I was like, okay. I'm mad there weren't. I'm kind of just saddened that there aren't any more gaming tablets. There was that Acer Predator tablet that was supposed to come out that never did, that I really did want. Or it came out but it like quickly got discontinued. Damn, why is Camera Conspiracies posting a video this late? It's kind of weird. But the Acer Predator 1, I think it was called. Acer Predator tablet. Acer Predator 8. It's funny because you can still find it. You can still find reviews on it on Amazon, but it's just not here anymore. But you see, Android Authority. Let me do this. Nightwave Radio. Do this. That's still not great. Basically, gotta do this. Yeah, it looks nice. I think, but the problem is, I was never able to get it. Like it would be on Amazon, but then it got discontinued very quickly. Whereas the Shield, it's still around. Even if it's refurbished, it's still around. And that sucks to me because it's a very nice tablet. I feel like it could still do great. It's just it's definitely dated and it still can only just be on Android 7 unless you root it and there's a community for it that you can download custom firmware to make sure that you can indeed get Android 10 whatever on it. But I don't know. I haven't looked into that. But yeah, it just sucks, man. Android tablets just took a fucking nosedive. Like it's only been Samsung. LG put out a few tablets too that I wanted to check out, but I just never got the opportunity to do it. You know, it does just kind of suck that if you do want to get an Android tablet, it's basically just Samsung now. Or you got to go with those Panasonic Toughbooks that are basically just made for construction sites and all of that. Apologies, I'm trying to find the best way to have this angled, but yeah. I wish like Twitch YouTube would have it so that you could have another device be used as like your chat monitoring. That's what's really cool. While you're streaming through Twitch, you could just have your phone, if it has Twitch installed, be a chat monitor. That's really cool. That's something that YouTube should indeed implement. Well, I don't think Sony is going to make another handheld. I think that ship has sailed, unfortunately. Um, Due to how they handled the Vita, with having proprietary crap and saying, "Oh, it's so that you doesn't stuff doesn't get pirated," but stuff ended up getting pirated anyway. Homebrew ended up getting made anyway. You could hack your Vita, mod your Vita, no it problems now. I wish they would just make a Vita, a slightly more powerful Vita that just had USB-C, micro SD card support. Maybe like a quad HD OLED display, and maybe that would compete with a Switch Pro. But the Switch Pro is really interesting because how is how is how's Nintendo going to position it? Because Nintendo isn't really about that maximize power kind of. They're not about that, you know. Excuse me. They've never been about that. They've always been about we put out a great console that gets sold by our first party, right? That's basically what sold the Wii, and why it's the second most popular home console, most sold home console. Um, and I don't that I it, the Switch Pro conversation is very weird to me because don't get me wrong, I would like it. I think it's kind of stupid that the Switch has a Tegra chip in there, but it doesn't do 4K. It doesn't output at 4K. Not that the Switch itself in handheld mode needs to do 4K, like in portable mode, but the fact that it just has 1080p output to me is kind of baffling. Like it doesn't really make sense to me. And I think what they could probably do rather than making it a beefier Switch is just put out a beefier dock to take to like because you can do that. They can basically just put a dock out that'll like truly tap into the power of the Tegra chipset in the Switch so that it can do all of those things and not really have an issue. I know people more want that portably, but I don't know. I think I think Nintendo kind of positioned the Switch very weirdly for that kind of thing, where yeah you can play it on your TV and it runs slightly better, but that's it. Where they could have made it to where it's like okay you have a very good reason to want to get a Switch and use the dock with it because oh you can output at 4K 60 no problem, or even just 4K 30. And on the go, you have this very good 1080p 60 system that you could use portably. Like, because for the most part, I do think, I do think that the Switch, the Nintendo hardly really needs to compete. They just really need to keep their player base intact and just cater to that. That's pretty much what's that's pretty much what made the Wii U kind of suck. Is that it had great games, but people didn't know what the hell it was, right? And the Switch is kind of the Wii U 2.0, where people know what it is and people know what they're getting out of it. And I don't necessarily think that people want just solely more power out of the Switch. I think they just want games to run better. Like that's it. And yeah, I would like games like Doom 2016 and Eternal to run at least at 30 on Switch because they barely run at 30. But if they can run at 60, that would be sick. Um, it kind of gets to this point where it kind of gets to the point where I just don't know how they would position it. That's pretty much it. Um, like sure, there's leaks, and there's been leaks basically since what, a year before the Switch Lite came out, that this is what was going to happen, is that a Switch Pro is going to become a thing. And initially I was excited for it because I was like, oh, that's the Switch I'm going to get. But then I got my Switch Lite, and it made me realize that I think I just value the portability of it more. And the games that I play on my Switch Lite already run smooth anyway. So it's like I don't necessarily need it to be at 4K portably, but if it can do that output through the HDMI, that would be sick. Yeah, the Wii was cool. It really was. A lot of people just wrote it off because motion controls. And I do get it for certain games. I feel they went a little bit too ham with the motion controls, where it was like, oh, Skyward Sword, let's do it there. Let's let's put all these nebulous motion controls where you don't really need them, right? But I really do think, God, apologies, cat, dog, Fergan everywhere. But yeah, it just became this thing where it's still sold very well, obviously, and it's sold basically off Wii Sports, Wii Fit, and middle-aged soccer moms wanting to stay fit. And what good excuse? What other good excuse is there to stay in the house and still stay fit than to get a than to get a console that both your kids can play, but you can also use? So that was the very funny thing about, say, the PlayStation 2. That's how a lot of parents like justified getting the PlayStation 2, was like, okay, so it's a gaming console, but it's also a DVD player. So, and it's a very cheap DVD player. Because DVD players were expensive back then. Like VHS and VCRs were still like the thing back then, to an extent. And it just became this thing where people looked at it and was like, I'll get that. They can play games on it, and when I want to use it, I'll use it as a DVD player to watch whatever, right? And that's what both the PlayStation 2 and the Wii have in common, is that they played to their strengths. They knew they kind of had this accidental demographic where people that want to watch movies, they could have a $250 DVD player right there, as opposed to buying a $600 one. For the Wii soccer moms and stuff like that, they decided to get the Wii so that, yeah, their kids could play Super Smash Brothers Brawl. I was literally about to say Melee, but Brawl. But I can play Wii Fit right here, and not have to pay an LA Fitness subscription. Thinking of getting a Huawei GT2 watch next month. I actually haven't looked at any of that. Um, I'm not huge into smartwatches. I have one. I got to get a new band for it, but it's a Fossil one. It's one of the newer Fossil ones that came out. It's what the fuck is it called? The I forgot, but let me look that watch up. Huawei watch GT2 Pro. Only 280. That's not bad at all. That is not bad. That's what I like about smartwatches now, is that they're just not expensive anymore. They used to be like, oh, $400 for this. I was like, really? Really? But let me look at this real quick. 14 days battery life. It looks really nice. I will say that. I've really wanted to try a Galaxy Active Watch, obviously, because I have an S21 Ultra, and I would actually just like to stay in ecosystem. But it becomes this thing where I just don't know. But yeah, this thing looks very nice. It looks very clean. Um, if it does actually live up to that 14-day battery life, that would be pretty sick. The watches are pretty much doing that now. The OnePlus watch can do that. And I know technically it's more of a fancy fitness tracker than it is a smartwatch, but it does it, and it does it very well. Apologies for me wiping my face. I have broken glasses, so it messes with my vision a little bit. So I gotta readjust my vision, I guess. But yeah, in terms of that, smartwatches are very interesting. Um, when I had the 12 Pro, um, I did want to get an Apple Watch. I just don't like how Apple Watches look. I don't like the square watch. I just don't. If I want to get a watch, if I want to get a smart watch, I want to at least have it look like a watch because then it just reminds me of like 007 GoldenEye. 220 on AliExpress. I just looked at the first listing that I saw on Google, so yeah, they keep going down. Ooh, is that 20? Did it come out 2019? Apparently it did. Refurbished, you could get it for as low as like 166 on Amazon. It looks like. Yeah, on AliExpress it does say 219. I don't even know how to say that site's name, but it's 146 on techin.com. See how much it is on Huawei's site. $450. They wouldn't be that fucking stupid. Can't even get it if I'm in America. I just remembered that. That's the one thing about Trump I actually kind of didn't agree with him doing was this tariff shit. He's now totally fucked Huawei. But now it's doing one of those where you gotta fucking buy it off a third party site. That sucks. So I assume their base price is like 250, 260, and you can get it for cheaper everywhere anywhere else. Which whatever. I'm not married to that idea, but it's whatever. I want I'm I want to see how well an AirPods Pro 2 would do. Just how good they would sound because obviously it's been rumored for a bit that they're going that direction, that they're doing another AirPods Pro. Hold on a second. Never mind. That must just be the window. Lay down. Apologies, I thought my cat was scratching at the bedroom door. Yeah, let me see. Fossil. The Fossil Carlisle HR is the watch I have. It's very nice. Like it's a very nice looking watch. Um, Lay down. Why'd you act like I was about to? I don't ever hit you. Apologies. You guys can see doggo here. But lay down, Reese. Lay down. Good girl. It's a very nice watch. It's just that the strap that came with it, the the top strap broke. So I just have to get a new band for it. Which they're not expensive. They're like $20, but I just been being a little bit of procrastinator when it comes to that. So yeah, I really do want to mess with smartwatches a little bit more. Get away from there. Hey. Rosie, get over here. Shut up. Shut up. Apologies. Rosie, get over here. Get over here now. Come on. Come on. Look at this little bastard. Look at this little bastard right here. You need to calm down. You ain't gonna do nothing but run away when they come in the door. I think my problem is that every time I want to go to AliExpress, I think I just go to, like, say, Amazon, because one, I have Prime and it's just more convenient because of that. Hey, what are you doing? Yeah, these dogs like to act like guard dogs, which obviously is in their nature, but at the end of the day, Big One just wants to get pets. She just wants pets. And the small one will just run away anyway. Good girl. Now lay down. I've been wanting to make a video talking about what I would want out of, like, a Galaxy Buds Pro 2nd generation, because I shouldn't do that. I shouldn't do that. I just remembered. I shouldn't open it because I'm using the S21 Ultra to record this. Oh, it's not even the fact that I don't think it's official. It's just more that what do you want? It's just more that it'll take a while. That's pretty much it. Um and when I order something, I tend to just want it right away. So I just tend to just go through Amazon, even if it's a little bit more pricey at times. It tends to not be like it tends it tends to not be that much more money. So I'm like, yeah, I'll just use Amazon. um, but I've been wanting to do a video on the Galaxy Buds Pro, talking about what more I want from a Buds Pro 2, mainly because I really do like these, but there's definite issues with them. For one, I think the case is a little bit too glossy. It's not nearly as terrible as, say, the AirPods Pro. The AirPods Pro are just glossy plastic, whereas these are more like, they're more matte than what the AirPods Pro are, but it's not nearly as, like, rubberized feeling like the LG Tone Free FN7s or something like that, where those feel durable. These feel kind of not great, not amazing in terms of that. Another thing is So I would want a more durable case, so I wouldn't have to buy a case. Another one is the magnets are in here are kind of weak. Um, you only get two magnets, and they're pretty weak magnets. um, so there are times where it drops, and it'll just be like. Then I have to sit here and soul search for both earbuds, right? Whereas with the FN7s, those have really strong magnets, and they just do the job, and I don't really have to worry about that on there. Another thing, ANC needs a little bit of work on here. They do the job, but I feel like it could be better. That's pretty much it. Um, but ambient mode needs the most work out of these. I feel it sounds way too digital, like like way too digital for me. Overall, I like the design a lot. The designs of the Galaxy Buds Pro is very good. I don't really have any issue with that. They're comfortable in my ear. Wingtips would be nice, but honestly, they don't fall out of my ear really, so it's fine. Um, what else? More battery life always would be nice, but I don't really have an issue with the battery life on these anyway. Um, yeah, they're really good, but I feel like Samsung could do a better job next time around. Because the moment Apple puts out an AirPods Pro 2, they're gonna put a Galaxy Buds Pro 2 out. Yeah, I use Wavelet quite a bit, mainly because for one, you don't really have you don't have any sort of custom EQ options to the Galaxy Wearables app when you connect these to them. So you're gonna have to do that. Um, but that's not really an issue because I think Samsung does have EQ settings. I don't remember because I don't look through them. I know LG does because that's where I mainly listen to my music anyways on my V60. So that's mainly where my stuff is. But yeah, in terms of that, the Galaxy Buds Pro are really nice. You just gotta learn to be used to what their flaws are. That's pretty much it. Just never use the ambient mode. That's pretty much it. The controls are kind of wonky too. But overall, whatever. But Z Fold selling your Z Fold 2 so you can take a vacation. Where are you trying to go to take a vacation at? Especially since these lockdowns are finally going away when they should have went away a long ass time ago. It I would very much like to take a vacation outside of just taking a week off and just chilling at my apartment. Uh, Nebraska, huh? Nebraska's a really nice place. Um, now I've been there how many times? Shit, I think two, maybe three. One was for an anniversary. One was definitely for Christmas. So I know those two. But yeah, back when my girl had to move back to Nebraska, and we stayed together. I went down there to visit her a couple times. It's very nice down there. Um, it's been like it doesn't feel that much different from like well, actually it does. It feels quite a bit different from like Minneapolis, St. Paul, where obviously those are more urban cities. I don't have fam in Omaha. My girlfriend does. Well, I guess technically I could call that family now. We've been together 8 years, but in terms of my biological family, no, I don't. My family is more down south, so like Louisiana and Florida, basically. North, South Carolina, like places like that. But the family that I stay most in contact with is just here, where I grew up at. Have a cousin in Atlanta, some in St. Louis, but yeah, it's basically been just around Midwestern area, basically, aside from this those that are in the South, which makes sense, right? Because black people tend to be more southern bound, right? So, which is very funny because a lot of people like to sit here and say that, oh, the South is racist and all that shit, right? They're really not. A lot of people, especially here, where you're essentially, I wouldn't say safe from racism, but it's not rampant. You may get the ballsy white dude that just wants to call you a nigga or whatever, right? But it's never hard ER unless they really want to get a rise out of you, which I personally don't care because I'm like, oh, that's cute. You think I'm gonna take offense to the word? Aw. Like, let me tell you a story real quick. So, I was downtown, right? Downtown Minneapolis. I forgot what I was doing. I think I was walking to the bus to go to a homie's house. So this white dude was like, "Hey, nigga," and he said it like two, three times because my headphones were in, right? I couldn't hear him, and I took him out, and I was like, "Yes." He's like, "Oh, nothing." Then he walked away. Now, I'm not trying to make this. I'm not sitting here to make this a race thing, right? I don't hate anybody. I think it's kind of stupid to hate people solely because of their skin color. You can't say that all white people are racist because guess what? That means you're being racist by calling all white people racist. You're putting a sort of dichotomy onto them that just doesn't make sense, right? So, or a worldview on them that doesn't make sense. So, how I've always seen any version of the N word is just the A, I don't care, hard ER. I kind of just like, I sit there and I'm like, yes, and I see how they respond to it. They scurry away like a little bitch. Hey, that's up to them, free country. But Negro isn't used all that much, but it's very. How do my viewers jump up the moment I start talking about race stuff? Yeah, I can see that. I think it's become far too easy these days for, for people to sit here and just say one particular group of people is this way, but then act all high and mighty about it as if you're not doing the exact same thing you're scolding them about. Like, say leftists on Twitter, for example, right? That constantly say that conservatives don't get censored on Twitter. They they'll say that, not realizing that someone on your side that says just as much of an inflammatory statement as the person that just got censored, which tends to not be that inflammatory. It just tends to be something that's real that people take as racism because, oh, it's a negative thing that people instill onto one group of people, even though it may or may not be true. Like, our people in crime rates. But it gets to the point where I'm like, you know it's a thing, you just don't want to admit it. And fine, whatever. But I'm not gonna sit here and act as if I'm oblivious to I'm not gonna sit here and say that one group of people is this way because it's just stupid. I'll say one thing tends to be more rampant in this group of individuals because it tends to be true, but that's not me saying that all white people are bad, all black people are bad, whatever, because it's just not true. It just gets to that point with me where I'm like, okay, whatever. I don't know why I keep getting Facebook friend suggestions. Apologies, I'm looking at my notifications right now. No, I'm not gonna. Oh yeah, it's definitely a nice place. I know I don't necessarily think that it's a lot of people like to do the whole stereotypical oh Nebraska is nothing but farm type of deal, right? And tend to see that as a bad thing. Cali. Yeah, California, man. I can never I never understood it. I never understood the infatuation with California. You know, I just never did. Even when I was a kid and I went there to see Spider-Man 2 and went to Disneyland, um, which was definitely one of the most fun moments of my life. I remember that every day. I'll remember that probably for the rest of my life. Um, People have this obsession with California that I don't understand. Like, you want to live there because it's beautiful, which I totally get. You want to live there because, oh, the women or men may be nice to look at. I can understand that. But people don't seem to understand the intricacies of going to live somewhere and understanding the differences between where you live now and where you're trying to live. They just go there and move there and don't have any sort of plan because someone's going to be helping them out, right? Like if you have family there and they're well off and they got it all together, fine, right? But don't go to California chasing a dream that, quite frankly, you're just probably not going to get. And I'm not trying to be BP'd on that or anything like that, black pilled on that, but you're probably not going to get that dream because it takes a lot to get to that dream. And a lot of people have to do that from when they're a teenager. You can't go there when you're 20 and want to become a music artist and expect to get that right away or get into Hollywood through that way. There's a lot of corruption in that system. But overall, on day to day California stuff, oh man, Gavin Newsom is a he's an individual. I'll say that. He's definitely yeah, definitely. It's definitely about relationships. I feel people do too much of this. They think far too much about them doing something alone. But if you go to a place like New York or Cali, where you need to be making maybe two times what you make now to even have a livable situation there. And that's why I never really thought, oh, I'm gonna move to California. Like one, it never really got to me like that anyway, and two, it's it's all just hype to me. I feel New York's the same way, where I've always knew the flaws of New York, but I can understand what people want. Like if you're going there for college or whatever, and you're on a full scholarship, and you got all that figured out, fine. But I feel like a lot of people just go there not going to college, wanting to make money just working at like barista at Starbucks or places where you have to get tipped to even make money than the money that you need that you might not even make that night. Oh, Best Buy Mobile. Oh, that's what's up. How good do they pay? Like, because I did want to end up. There was a time where I applied at T-Mobile trying to get there and work there, mainly because I already had a. That's when I already was under a plan through them and all that. And I was like, I use their service. I may as well work there, right? And I know phones, so I may as well do it. The problem with that is that they don't want you to sell people the phone they want or the phone that they may like over, say, a more popular phone. They want you to sell the more popular stuff. So while the answers I was giving, whoa, 1375 plus commission sales group. Jesus Christ. That's See, that's another thing, right? You got to know what type of job you need to be into and able to get through any of this in life in general, but it is highly dependent on the state that you decide to live in. You know, people go to Texas because they want, you know, they want that, right? People move to all these other places that have like either low or no income tax, like Florida, and they go there solely so that they can work, stack their money up, right? And it makes sense. But I feel like people. That's crazy, man. You know what sucks? It's really funny. Best Buy started in Minnesota, right? But you know what they did? I'm gonna have to fill my cat's bowl up. But they in the Mall of America, you know, the biggest mall in America, obviously. um, they took out the Best Buy in there. It didn't make sense to me that they did that. Like, me and my homies went there all the time, and sure, we didn't buy stuff every time we went in there, but it was nice to see. Now there's no sort of tech store in MOA at all. Let me fill my cat's bowl up real quick. Thought your ass was in the room, Roxy. Yeah. Yeah, man, it's just weird how a lot of these like big like retail places like Target and or some of the biggest retail places like Target and Best Buy started here in Minnesota. Targets we have an abundance of though. But you basically have to soul search for a Best Buy, which I understand they don't want a whole bunch of big stores everywhere, but why would you take it out of the Mall of America? Doesn't make sense. That didn't make sense to me. I get taken down like the smaller stores, the Best Buy Superstore, I think it was called. I understand taking that out, but it just doesn't make sense at all. It just never really made sense that they did that. Because they also had a FYE in Mall of America. I went there to get a lot of my anime stuff. and and they just like said, you know, screw it, we can't be here no more. They had this like Master Chief helmet that I wanted to buy, but they took that too. I wasn't able to get it before. That's where I got my CDs as well, and I still get CDs. You can just buy them off Amazon, but yeah, it's always weird when they do stuff like that. You know, but at least you back at it, bro. At least you back at it because, and I'm at least glad they still just keep the Best Buy mobile stuff in the big Best Buy stores because I mean, one, it would be stupid not to, and two, I just don't under. There's really no reason why they couldn't do it. God, I really need my haircut. Thankfully, that's what I don't like about hair growing back so fast. Sometimes I wish the white part of me was a little bit more prevalent, so I got a lower hairline. But, but no, I mean that just makes sense though. If things aren't profitable, I don't expect it or aren't as profitable. Yeah, I know, I know, I know. Girlfriend always wants me to brush my hair or comb my hair to get it as a fro. I don't want a fro anymore. I had my fro back when I was like 5 or 6. I don't need that anymore. It's like because there's just too much upkeep. Like I remember when my dad tried to get me to get waves and stuff, which me and my brother we did have. You know, we did have waves, no problem. But that stuff is just too much upkeep for me. I'm like, I ain't trying to put in all this crap in my hair just so I can look slightly better. It just never really got me looking like Norman Osborn and shit. Like Norman Osborn had them waves, boy. But it's funny because when I was like either 5 or 6, I had the fucking Darth Maul twist braids and stuff. I know Darth Maul didn't have braids, but I got them because I wanted to look like Darth Maul. Yeah, I just like bald fades more. I just like my face looking clean. Like I don't even shave. I just have the barber do that too. Like like one that saves money, and that's what people don't seem to realize. Is like it saves money to just get it cut at the barber too. And it's like hair, all this just goes away. I look different, but I feel better. You know, I'm just not gonna let it grow out nearly as bad as I did the last time. My beard was probably like out to here, looking like Kratos or fucking Marcus Phoenix or something. But I think I just then all my homies in like the 2000 mid 2000s. Jesus Christ, I'm only 25. I'm making it sound like I'm old, but all my homies back in like '07 and stuff decided to get dreads because that was the thing to get dreads, and they stuck with it, man. I'm not gonna sit here and it looks good on them. I don't know if it would look good. Nah, for me, it's like if I decided to grow my hair out longer, it would look like is it would look. I feel like it would make me look as weird as if I were to just get contacts, where I just don't look. I just don't know how I would look. Don't know how I would feel about how I look. So it kind of feels a bit weird in terms of that. I like my beard growing out longer. It's just more that I think it's just more that it gets itchy and I don't like it, which I know I can remedy myself. But there's only so much shampoo and conditioner can do if you have like a lot of hair, you know, and that just tends to be an issue quite a bit. I like to keep my beard in the winter, especially here in Minnesota where it's very cold. It tends to get very cold in the winter. The past like 4 or 5 years, it hasn't been terrible, but it tends to get quite cold. Um, I'll keep it for that because I don't wear scarves. But I guess with these masks and all that crap, I could now use that for winter. But eh, I think I'm a bit they kind of killed this whole mask shit. Like, and that's what politicians don't seem to realize is that, especially American politicians, they want to sit here and push all of these things and mandate them and do all of this. You do realize that in doing that, you're going to make people rebel more, right? Like, this country was started off of taxing tea and stamps, right? And rebelling against that. You really think people won't rebel against a fucking mask mandate? Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. But at least the governor here, Waltz, isn't being very fucking isn't being too unreasonable with this stuff. So it's whatever. Guess he can't after all the George Floyd stuff. You don't want to piss people off more, right? So how long have I been streaming? Hour and 7. Man, my beard started growing without when I was in like maybe 5th grade. 5th to 7th grade is when it started growing. Like I remember 7th grade, there were like maybe 4 little hairs down there. It, and it don't help that we had this health and fitness class, right? So naturally, I gain muscle fast. Like I work out, I can get back to where I was like very fast. I was skinny when I was a kid, like back in seventh, 5th, 7th grade. I was a skinny little boy, and then when we started doing a health and fitness class, started pumping iron and all this stuff, I started getting toned. I started getting jacked. And that's kind of weird at like 12, right? To just get all these muscles. Puberty's a bitch. Reese, where the hell you think you going? Where you think you going? Where you think you going? You stay in here. You stay in here. Good girl. It's always funny when the view count starts to go up. It's always weird because all my life I don't eat vegetables, I don't eat fruits. I've basically survived off of just eating meat. And it really hasn't done anything to my body, anything terrible to my body. Now I know I'm just 25 years old, but Yeah, I've started to like pare back on how much root beer I get. Can't give up things like the Cheez Its, but which I know is very fun. This box is unopened, but it it gets to the point where I feel I think people need to realize that being fit doesn't just mean getting your gains up, doesn't mean just getting swole, right? You're like, oh, so you expect me to get it's like the whole women God, I'm gonna sound misogynistic, but women like to sit here, bigger women tend to be on the whole thing of the body positivity stuff. It's like no one is saying you have to look like Gal Gadot, but at least take care of your body. Like that's it. Like it's not healthy to not be able to see your elbow or not be able to see a definitive waistline or anything like that. That's not healthy. You can't do that. You know, you can't do that to your body. You're just gonna die younger, right? Oh yeah. I just tend to be more hefty on the snacks when I'm just with my homies. That's pretty much it. When I'm with my homies is when I decide, you know what? Let's go to the gas station where all the snacks are at, right? And just buy a whole bunch of stuff. Not a bunch of stuff, maybe like it's funny because $10 of stuff back 20 not 20, like maybe 10, 15 years ago, that would have been a bunch of stuff. Now $10 to $15 these days are maybe like three to four things. Inflation sucks. Inflation sucks. But you know, whatever. Um, yeah, I feel people at the end of the day, like if you don't want to work out, just eat better. You know, you can eat better, more efficiently, and lose a whole bunch of weight. Now, if you want to get toned, sure, you know, but people hold, people make it like this weird thing. Like they see people having standards as a bad thing, you know. I honestly see it as a bad thing when people don't hold themselves to higher standards. You shouldn't want to be you shouldn't want to be 300 pounds at 25, you know. You shouldn't want to be that. Now, obviously men tend to be more heavier anyway, but you shouldn't want to be that you shouldn't want to be that big that young. That just doesn't make sense, you know. Certain people do tend to see that and they want to change that. Other people just always want to stay being on that those Twitter Tumblrism type deals where they constantly talk about, oh, but it's my body, my choice. It's like, yeah, but you're not gonna have your body for much longer with the choices you're making. Like if you're 50, 60, whatever. Because as you get older, you tend to get fatter anyway. But you can't keep acting like you're 15 with a high metabolism. That's just not how that works. Yeah, me and my homie just tend to watch a whole bunch. Homies tend to watch a bunch of stuff. Hey man, get it. You know, stay motivated and just get it. I think the best way to stave off like pop and things like that is to just buy flavored water. Whether it be like the natural ice water or it be Propel or something like that. That's probably one of the best ways I can think of to stave off pop. Or even, or hell, Get Capri Suns or something. Pop is just so damn. Ugh. And I love pop. Like I said, I love root beer. And at work, sometimes I just don't have a choice. I need a little bit of energy, so I just get some pop. You know, like I don't even drink Monster as much as I used to anymore. Yeah, man, just stick at it, man. I believe in you. Some people think that for some people that's just too much to do though. Just cutting it out completely. I just slowly say, just like start substituting the stuff you like with other stuff that you may like that's not as bad. Right. Like at least do it till you no longer have the craving for it. I think that's what happened with me with monsters. That I just stopped having the craving for it. Like I still like it, obviously, but I've had like two cans of Monster for like 2 to 3 months, right? And I didn't drink one until like I think it was Saturday, or no, it was Friday. I didn't drink one till like Friday, and I've had it for that damn long. Like so, I've staved off energy drinks pretty goddamn well, and that's kind of hard to do when you work overnights. Especially when you work overnights in the store or they have a whole bunch of energy drinks in an aisle, right? Or a whole bunch of energy drinks at the front. Same with pop. It's very hard to do, and they keep coming out with new versions of energy drinks. And it's like, that's how they get you. That's how they get you. Yeah, me and my friend, we're gonna start this podcast soon. We gotta work out the we're gonna work out the intricacies of it. Oh yeah. Should I feel like I don't eat enough sometimes. But it's also a problem because the moment that I get back from work, sometimes I just go to like a gas station and just get like one of their breakfast sandwiches or something. But as I was saying, me and my homie are gonna start this podcast though, but we're gonna talk more political type deals and not just be super uber serious or anything like that because that's just not what we're like a lot of the time. We like to talk about serious subjects and break them down, right? But we also want to crack jokes. You know, I feel like that's a problem these days is people lack humor. You know, they lack a funny bone. It's to the point. So I'm trying to see if my girlfriend texts me or not. She's not here, so I'm trying to at least see. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I saw that he died. Um, I didn't start reading it quite yet. I just haven't had the time. But yeah, that got me. Like I'm not gonna sit here and lie. That really did get me because it isn't like I haven't consumed Berserk at all. It's obviously influenced a lot of the stuff that I like. Like I love Bloodborne, for example. It's influenced Dark Souls. It's influenced a lot of games that I like a lot. And I do like Berserk. When I did play the Vita game, the Band of the Hawk game, I did like it a lot. I know people are very like when it comes to the Dynasty Warriors games, but for what it was, I was mainly just playing it because I wanted to get a more pared down version of the story. So I was like, there we go. And I didn't really like the CG anime that Hulu had. So and yeah, he definitely put a lot of heart and soul into that work, dude. Like his art is like super detailed. It's just crazy. Yeah, that siege. When I saw that shit, man, it was like some aspects looked fine, right? It was just the overall product that just looked terrible. You know, of course, they're gonna do that. You know, they're always gonna do that crap. Buy it up to rate to sell it up on eBay for like 5 times the cost. They're gonna do that. That's what people have been doing with like the V60. Is they've been buying V60s up just to sell them up at higher prices, which doesn't make sense, but that's what they've been doing. It's so stupid. They do it with everything, and it sucks because you're basically with this profiting off a dead man's work, and that's just like not not it's not morally sound. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna get into it soon. I just more wanted to wait to see if he ever was gonna finish it. Obviously now he's not. And there are rumors and talks about people coming through and possibly finishing it, but I don't know about all that. Like if well, like people he was mentoring and stuff that he trusts with the work and things like that. If it's people like that he clearly trusted, fine. But I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, Masashi Kishimoto is doing Berserk now. What? He couldn't even do his own stuff that well. But yeah, it's sad. Berserk is Berserk was a very influential thing. Yeah, they should definitely just leave it be, for me personally. But hey, like I said, if those were a part of his wishes, we'll see. And if they do it as good or as quality, we'll see. But I don't see it happening. That's not really how the Japanese work. So they're probably not going to do that. But yeah, in terms of the podcast, like I said, it's going to be more general political crap. All this goofy stuff that's going on with our sitting president and how they're deciding to try and hide certain things he's doing and saying and man, it's an ordeal. Let's just say that much. It's an ordeal. And it's gonna be a little bit more potty mouth because I try not to swear so much here, but it's not gonna be like throwing f bombs every other word or anything like that. But when we get amped, we get amped. So yeah, we just gotta get all of that situated, you know. And I'm very much looking forward to it. I'm very much looking forward to it. So I've been wanting to do it for like a while, but it's just something. It's some hurdles I had to get over. It was like, oh, is my voice good enough for this kind of thing? Am I going to be confident enough for this? Things like that that you have to get over a certain amount of time. You know, it, it it just certain things just get to you. You just gotta power through it, right? And with how me and him just talk about all this stuff anyway, you know, it's like why not try to make a podcast and maybe make some money off of it? You know, it would be cool. Like it's not for the sole purpose of oh let's make this money, but it would just be nice. It would just be nice. Apologies if you hear the air coming down from right here. Obviously, you guys can see it great right there as well. The air is on, so it's only 120. Well, hour 24 minutes. It's not bad. What is this battery at? Okay, okay. It's very weird because I've been casually looking through the S21 Ultra subreddit. There are a lot of people that just suck the phone off, but there have been more and more people that have been coming through criticizing the phone a little bit more, saying what they actually feel about the phone without having any sort of fear about what the subreddit may think. A lot of like Android based subreddits tend to be that way. Like the R Android subreddit tends to be a little bit more vitriolic and tends to want to shit on every on every other phone and things like that that comes out that doesn't do what they wanted, you know. And that's 21 Ultra subreddit actually has been quite balanced. The only That's one of the only ones that I've joined that I honestly had no problem with. Like the V60 one was also really good too because they would actually be like, "Yo, I have this issue. Does anybody have a fix for this issue?" Someone would have a fix for the issue. Now the problem with the S21 Ultra is that it has quite a few issues, and with this most recent update, people have been, it's kind of like a mixed bag, where a lot of people are saying the camera performance is improved. I'm personally not seeing much of a difference. I think it's as good. I don't take many night shots, so it's like I'm not sitting here taking one pre-update, taking one post-update, and seeing. But my main issue is still that the camera app just runs at 30 frames per second. I just don't get it. I don't get it, Samsung. I don't understand it. A phone with a 120 hertz display should not be running its camera app at just 30. Now, I will say this: it does feel smooth. The camera app overall does feel smoother than it did before. Like, it just feels smoother. I'm not going to sit here and lie about that. It's definitely a more stable 30 FPS, but I do feel like Samsung does need to work on making their, oh, I don't know, $1,300 phone feel like a $1,300 phone and not a $400 phone in terms of certain aspects. You know, like I do think that the overall camera, like I put out that video about the 108 megapixel sensor and what I feel you should do to maximize the performance out of it the most, and just honestly the best things to do with it. And while yes, my Samsung videos don't do that well. I don't understand it. Unless they're literally up against an LG phone, they don't do well. Even if I put them against an Apple phone, they don't do well. But it's whatever. I'm doing it because I like it. You know, I reached 1,000 over 1,000 subs. I'm fine with that. I'm not expecting to blow up to the stratosphere now, so it's whatever. But yeah, it gets to that point with me where I'm like, I still get a lot of the same issues. You again, you again, you again. I still get a lot of the same issues where sometimes when I try to slide to get the exposure, it does indeed switch to the other another mode of the camera and things like that. What you doing? Who said you could come up here? Well, I brought you up here, but why can't you just lay down? I know she ain't here yet, but that doesn't mean come near me. I'm just kidding. Chihuahuas are just perpetual babies. I wonder if the moment I put a foot. Really? Really? I just put you down, Rosie. Fine. You could be up here with me for a little bit longer. And these dogs need a bath. I remember when we first got this little one. She was a scaredy cat. Let me put you. Sit down, girl. Apologies. Oh man. Let me see this again. Yeah, the One Mark III. Um, it looks like it's just gonna be like maybe $100 to $200 more than the One Mark II, which, given the improvements that they're making, I'm fine with. I don't necessarily think this is bad. It's bad. Like a 4K 120 hertz panel, um, improved camera, so improved zoom on the camera. Um, you still get the same great um, power control options in terms of charging. I feel like Sony has a very good upgrade path for this. I don't necessarily think if you have a One Mark II though that you should go up to the One Mark III unless you really want that telephoto and the 120 hertz 4K. Oh yeah, the dual front facing speakers and the headphone jack as well. And I have heard that the speakers on those are pretty damn good too. I do think that the dual speaker setup that we have on phones now have definitely caught up in terms of loudness, but obviously they're harder to cover when they're front facing, so it's better in that aspect. But the one thing that I wish Sony did indeed do a little bit better, I wish they just put a better DAC and amp in there. That's pretty much it. Like, wait, 40% louder than the One Mark II? Okay. Okay. I hope so. Because the funny thing is with Sony is that what they like to do is they always like to put the high res label on their things, the hi-fi label on their products, especially on their phones, and the output is not really all that impressive. Like it'll power stuff pretty damn well, but I don't think it's going to. I don't think they like it's very difficult to quantify, right? Because I obviously can't say it when I don't have the phone, but I just it's something that I really wanted to see with the ROG Phone 5, right? I wanted to see how well that newer ESS DAC would do because it comes from the same maker that makes the Quad DAC. So I wanted to see if it were to compete on that level. From what I've heard, it doesn't really do that. So it's very interesting to see these kind of things. I just want Sony to kind of be like, you make high end headphones, you make high end cameras, you make high end media players. Why not just put a higher end DAC in there as well so that you could become the king of a lot of that stuff in terms of mobile? That kind of sucks. I think phones have kind of, well, basically just one series of phones from one manufacturer. It's pretty much caught up to like the cheaper, more affordable DAPs. Like obviously, if you get like a Dragonfly or you get any of these like USB DACs that are dedicated to that, you can go a little bit better. You could definitely go better with it. But I feel people focus way too much on the numbers and not too much about how it sounds, right? This I remember when Samsung tried to put out that they put out that Galaxy player, that that phone that was just an MP3 player, or it wasn't even a phone. It was basically it was basically them trying to make an iPod Touch, like where they just took TouchWiz, put it on a regular ass MP3 player, and then made it run Android. I wonder what that. I wonder what that costs. The Ibeso DX300. I forget which. I forget which DAP I wanted to get, but I think I need to go back and start watching Z reviews and stuff. I think it was called the Galaxy Player. Hold on, give me a second. I'm gonna look it up here real quick. No. Samsung Galaxy. It's like super old. Like it looks like a Galaxy S2. Like that's how old it is. Like let me you can get one for $90. Oh Lord. Like let me make sure. Look at that. It basically just looks like a S2. Like I mean, it literally came out around that era, but it's basically just a Galaxy S2 that plays music, and that's it. It looks like it still has an earpiece though. Oh, it does. Wait, is that even the one, or is it this one? I think it's this one. No, because okay. They supposed to put out multiple, and I never heard about them. Yeah, it's called the Galaxy Player. They they had to have put out a bunch of them. Apologies for that. Oh, that's great. Yeah, I saw it like I saw them like years ago when in Best Buy when I got this Sony Xperia 1A or whatever the hell it was called. It was one of their cheaper phones. Um I saw it, I was like, I forgot they made this. Like Samsung did a lot of weird shit back then. The Galaxy Round, the the Galaxy Camera, like they did a lot of different things that were just like crazy experiments that they just don't do anymore, right? Like the only one that really like the Galaxy Edge, remember that? What was the Note Edge? The Galaxy Note Edge that eventually just made every single Samsung phone after that. Oh yeah, the Zune. Um, I've always wanted to try a Zune. I think the problem is just that one, they were expensive, and two, um, they just didn't really have the same like buying power that Apple had at the time. You know, Apple was the one for MP3 players back then. You know, and when Apple would put in higher quality stuff into like DAX to run their stuff, man. But now it's just like this. They don't care anymore. Why? What? What? Do you not have food in your bowl or something? Give me a second. You got food in your bowl, damn it. Here's what I do. Sorry, I had to oh yeah, my mom got this shirt for me. It sucks because I didn't do what she said and not dry the damn shirt. And so the it's all faded now. But she had a black one. She has a black one, and she obviously got me this red one. And I like this shirt a lot. You can't even really see the iced tea power one right here either. But yeah, so a lot of stuff I grew up off of. You know, it's always funny with old heads. I was like, "What'd you know about that nephew?" And then you're like, and then you're like, "You literally raised me off this shit. Like you raised me off this stuff. So why you keep asking? Like you weren't bumping Outcast when I was 6 in your Cadillac Broham, Dad. Like what? Like what are you talking about? My dad doesn't say that. My mom tries to say it. I was like, Mom, you know damn well I know this because you and Dad will do nothing but bump it. So don't even try. Don't even try to pull my old school card. But yeah, I also had this like hip hop legend shirt too that was black and it had like Eminem, Tupac, Biggie, Dr. Dre, Ice Cube all on it. Let me try to see if I can find. I still have it. I still have it. I just can't I can't find it because I moved and I think I let it's I think it's in the tub where all my stuff is at, but let me try and find it here. Hip hop legends. I think that's what I looked up to find it. Oh, excuse me. No, it wasn't that. There's so many of these. Apologies, I gotta my girlfriend keeps messaging me while I'm well, she doesn't know I'm live streaming, so was it this one? Dude, I'm not lying when I said there's so many of these. Like that was the thing back in the day. Oh, it was this one. It was this one. This one right here. I love this shirt so much. Like it has De La Soul right there, Big Daddy Kane. Like I either need to find that shirt or just buy a new one. Or just download that picture and just have it put on a shirt. I could just do that as well. But sorry, my the lady, the missus is messaging me right now. So maybe I should just start doing this from the G8. Like the G8 can do it. Yeah, I might end up doing that. But yeah. Oh shit. No, I don't like to be I don't like to constantly be like, "Oh, rap is trash now," or anything like that, right? Because not all rap these days are trash. It's trash. It's mainly just the stuff that gets put out on the radio and gets pushed out on music videos and stuff. But there definitely is a downgrade. I will say that. Even the ones that are like, say the Joyner Lucases, the Logics, those like that. At the end of the day, they are just mimicking those that are great, that have already done their style of rap. Not that I don't like their music. It's just, yeah, radio is so milk toast now. It's crazy. Like, and able to even find artists that you would like, you either have to know them already, be on Spotify and just listen to a whole bunch of random stuff, or Google or YouTube Music or whatever. Griselda, I've heard of him. I don't think I've listened to him intently or anything like that. He's definitely been in some tracks that I've heard, but I'll definitely I need to listen to more people, so I might end up doing that here. Griselda. Well, let me not. I know what the problem is. I accidentally almost played it. Well, here's what I'll do. I'll add it to my library. I'll at least listen to their most recent stuff. That's what I like to do, and able to sample if I want to list if I want to actually start listening to people or not. Boldly James. I want to listen to J. Cole's new album. I just haven't had the drive to do it. Like it. Like that's what kind of sucks sometimes is that I really do want to listen to his like, but at the same time, if I wanted to listen to it, I would have just instantly listened to it. But I think the problem is, oh yeah, I've heard Conway definitely. A lot of Eminem's artists that he pushes a lot, I have heard of, right? Like, fuck, what was his name? He has the name of another rapper, similar name to another rapper, but let me look it up. Rainy Days. Boogie or West Side Boogie, apparently now. I hate it when rappers change their names for no reason. See, and then when I do that, hold on, boy. It ain't even the same fucking rapper. Then let me first. Okay, there we go. Okay. Yeah, I've heard a lot of them definitely. You just dropping bombs in here now. Yes. West Side. Nah, obviously I can't fucking play them on here. Who made the sunshine? Aesop Rock. You mean ASAP Rocky or Aesop Rock? This is also another problem too, is that they tend to have similar names a lot of the time. No, I'm pretty sure you mean Aesop Rock. He came up, no problem. Spirit World Field Guide. Okay, I found it. I think I'm more definitely like a lot of people like to just listen to singles. So Czarface. Yeah, I appreciate it. I like to be put on to new people. So ah, an MF Doom fan, clearly. Rest in peace. This sucks the amount of like artists that we've lost. like like not even just in rap, but obviously in general. Like obviously we lost Mura, but DMX and well MF Doom them DMX. All caps. I don't know why I love all caps so much. I wish it was a longer song. I think it's mainly because I'm a comic book person and he's obviously a comic book person. He was a comic book person, so it kind of gets me in that mood. And it has a whole like 80s like Saturday morning cartoon vibe to it. I think that's why I like it so much. But I wish we had that sort of variety today in mainstream rap. We really don't. Like a lot of it is just music, just for women to shake their booty in the club. That ain't that's just not my kind of music. I don't know. None of it is trash. It's just never been my thing. Like I remember when I listened to Common's recent album, um, it felt like a breath of fresh air, man. It was like I always forget what it's called, but unless he put out a new one, oh no, he put out a new one. Let Love, the one in 2019, Not a Beautiful Revolution. I didn't listen to that, but John Bastille. Rappers like to have the revolutionary names too. That's also like that was quite literally what the outlaws were. Gaddafi, Mussolini, like they like to do that shit. But John Bass. Thankfully, I don't have kids, but yeah, it's also that's always appreciated. You want to listen to stuff that you don't have to worry about the swear words around. My parents didn't really care. because I knew I was smart enough to not, but I get it. Oh yeah, the now I'm just getting a whole bunch of music to listen to, which I'm totally fine with. I need to find more stuff to test headphones out with, so this is nice. Arlo Parks. Add album to library. Yeah, you know what I don't like about what Google did? Um, when they asked Google Play Music, you can no longer buy albums anymore. Like, you can't even do that. It just sucks because I used to do that a lot. Especially with stuff that I really did like. And they just took that ability away from me so I could actually support these artists without having to stream their stuff like 300 times. But, what can you do, man? What can you do? They like to change stuff at the drop of a fucking dime a lot of the time. So it just doesn't make sense. Like it just don't make sense. Because then that doesn't just mess. Yeah, I want to find a lot more stuff to because I do want to get newer cans, like I talked about it last time I streamed in this sort of setup anyway. Well, I did want to get the DT 990 editions or whatever, those 600 ohm monsters. I just haven't had the capital to do it. Said though hmm, maybe I could this week. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, it's I like to buy albums. It's just it just comes from how I grew up, where I used to go into Target with whatever allowance I used to get and I would just buy albums. Like I would buy like the UGK albums and all that stuff with my money because that's what I was raised off of. I wanted to hear it, for myself, and I wanted to put it on my iPod at the time, and I wanted to do a lot of that stuff. And then it became very. It just sucks now because now there's just no variety in what CDs you get at Target anymore. Now it's just the big shit. Like sure, yes, I can get Eminem's new album there or whatever, right? But that's a poppin' album, obviously. And it sucks because the main reason I buy them now was just so I can rip them to my laptop in FLAC and then put them on my either my V60 or my G8. Even now my S21 Ultra because I do sometimes like to listen to my FLAC files on here through the Buds Pro because they do a really good job with that too. But yeah, it's a very times changing and things changing is just like it sucks sometimes. It just sucks because you no longer get the stuff that you used to have. And like I think like it honestly was more convenient at times to just buy a fucking CD, rip it, and then put it onto your thing. Because now on streaming services, you can only have a certain amount of devices on the streaming service. If you have too many on there, oh, guess what? You can't download whatever. You can't download your playlists onto onto a different phone. If you got a new phone, it's hard to get devices removed as from the streaming service and things like that. So it becomes this thing of people upgrade their phones every year, but then apologies. But then when they do that, they may not be able to listen to their stuff. That's what used to happen with Google Play Music. It just wouldn't allow you to listen to your stuff. Now, at least with YouTube Music, you can still listen to your playlist, but you just can't download it onto the storage of your phone. And it's just weird. That and YouTube Music has just lower quality in general compared to Google Play Music. Google Play Music was underrated, man. Like, it sounded very good. There wasn't no high option, obviously. There wasn't like some lossless option. I don't think they'll ever put that into YouTube Music, mainly because it's not the focus of YouTube Music anyway. Funnily enough, it's mainly the convenience of being able to either watch the music video or just turn it into audio right then and there, uh, which is why I just preferred Google Play Music because it just gave me music. So it sucks, man, but what can you do? What can you do? Yeah, man, I'm just been trying to find a whole bunch of different things to listen to outside of just rap. I like all music, not all, most music. I feel people focus way too much on, oh, that's country. Why would you listen to that? It's so goofy. Yeah, I actually tried Cobuz, and I actually thinking about going to it again, but I might end up leaving now too. So thanks for stopping by, dude. I really do appreciate it. You're always here, so I appreciate that so much. Um, yeah, have a good one.